الماء هو مصدر الحياة. بدون الماء لن تكون هناك نباتات ولا حيوانات ولا إنسان. مرحبا بك.
Wasser. Wasser ist die Quelle des Lebens. Ohne Wasser gäbe es keine Pflanzen, keine Tiere und auch keine Menschen. Ich begrüße Sie herzlich zu dem
Welcome to a
Thema, das die Welt
subject
schon
already
jetzt
having an impact around the globe, but which in years to come will be making an even bigger difference, turning seawater into fresh water. In my vision, every person on earth should have access to water in
هو
sufficient
الوضع
quality
الحالي
and
في العالم.
volume at all
ففي
times.
ألمانيا على سبيل المثال تعتبر موارد المياه إلى حد كبير كافية. إذا كان لديك ماء كاف فقد تكون الحياة جيدة. نحن البشر نحتاج الماء للعديد من الأمور، حتى لبعض الأمور
Need
التي
water for all
قد
kind
تكون
of things,
واضحة للوهلة
even for things where the need might not be all that apparent at first sight. I have a few examples for you. You might be familiar with the basic principles of the membrane process if you haven't forgotten your biology lessons. As long as a cherry is still hanging on the tree, it's nourished by water from the roots of the tree. It grows and grows. When the cherry is ripe enough, and if it rains enough, well, you surely know what happens. The cherry absorbs the water and bursts open. What happened? Rainwater permeates the cherry's skin into the cherry as a distillate. The pressure within the cherry increases until it becomes too much for the cherry's skin and the cherry bursts. What happens here is what we call osmosis of a semi-permeable membrane, the cherry skin.
تملأ الأمطار الأنهار والبحيرات وتتسرب إلى جوف الأرض لتصبح مياها جوفية، ولذلك فلا نجد إلا مياه عذبة في جوف الأرض. في نهاية الدورة تجري المياه عائدة إلى البحار، فتصبح الدائرة الآن مغلقة. استخدم مبدأ التقطير هذا لإزالة الأملاح من الماء منذ القدم، وهذا المبدأ يتم توظيفه في محطات التحلية.
The main concerns of desalination at present are energy consumption and the incursions into nature. Our engineers and scientists are currently looking for solutions in both areas. On the one hand, the processes are being further optimized in order to save not only energy, but chemicals as well. There are already plants that are run with renewable sources of energy, with solar heat or wind power. Desalination plants need to be located on the coast, where normally many people live. For that reason, it has become a priority to build smaller and more compactly constructed facilities. And the further goal is to find some place other than the sea for brine backflow. That would be a possibility of solving the problems of higher water temperatures, chemicals, and increased salt content. Beyond that, research has taken place in other areas with the aim of discovering completely new processes for desalinating salty water. Both of the existing processes, thermal and membrane, copy natural processes. We try to imitate on a grand scale methods we find in nature. Scientists continue to scan nature for models that could be turned to use. Did you know that an albatross drinks seawater? It filters the salt out with its nose hair, a membrane process of sorts. Thus albatrosses can survive at sea. The pharmaceutical industry is coming up with the idea for a pill we could take that enables our bodies to tolerate salty water. As you see, there are still vast areas of research. Our scientists and engineers are by no means at the end of that tether. And that's a good thing, because supplying all people with sufficient amounts of fresh water is one of the most important aspects of future civilization. We need drinkable water, but there is less and less of it to be found in nature. And that is not only a problem for countries in Africa and Asia. Where do you think the people on the island of Heligoland get their fresh water? Fresh water has already become too scarce to be able to supply all the world's population. Beyond fresh water, we need desalinated water for a lot of other things. You surely haven't forgotten those Spanish tomatoes on your breakfast table were cultivated with desalinated water. Your pair of jeans was produced using a lot of water, and I'd be willing to bet that it was desalinated water somewhere in Asia. Usually we think about water for drinking, but water called virtual water, which is used in industry and agriculture, must also be desalinated. We need desalination. In many regions, there is no other alternative. There's not much on Earth that's more important. DME is working towards its goal of providing water in a sufficient quality and volume to every human being in the world. There are still many challenges ahead, which we, together with scientists and engineers across the globe, will have to meet. That's what we are working on. We've come to the end of our brief look at the fascinating topic of seawater desalination. We have prepared a little certificate confirming your participation in this e-learning program. If you press the print button, your personal certificate will print on your printer. I hope you found our explanations of interest. If you have any questions or comments, just give us a call or send an email. We're looking forward to all comments and responses.